Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. We are here with day number 4 of our Splendid Day Suite series. This is going to be from October 17th through the 21st of 2022. So this suite was really beautiful as foil paper. I showed on day 1 everywhere in the catalog you can find the products. And also the products are listed down below in the description box. Okay, so this week it's been all about hand sanitizers and cleaning products because that's what gives me splendid thoughts, right? So today is no different. Look at the project I have for you today. It's a gorgeous box, and inside is a bottle of Odorban. So this is a disinfectant air freshener. You can get it at Sam's, Lowe's. Actually, I got this at Dollar Tree, this size here. It's the 4-ounce size. Love this cleaning solution. It smells great. But in case you are not in the States, this bottle is just a 2 inches thick by 6 inches long by 1.5 inches thick. So if you have an item that's 2 by 6 by 1.5, it'll fit in this box. Because this box ends up measuring 2 inches by, it should be by 6, but mine's like by 6 1/8, but it should be 2 by 6 by 1.5 is what your measurement should be. But as I was recording the video, I realized that I can reconfigure it, because at first you needed a piece of paper that was by 12 inches, and then I thought about it. Not a lot of people buy the 12 by 12 papers, and so I redid it in the last like 10 minutes so we could use an 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper. So the 12 by 12 made you have the super long flap right here, but the 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper, you just have a shorter flap. So it worked out perfectly. Alright, so what you're going to need is 1 sheet of paper that is 8.5 by 11. You're going to need 1 little stamp from the stamp set, which is going to be this Let's Celebrate, if you want yours to look exactly like mine. You're going to need your die cuts, 2 of this one, 1 of these. I just ripped it in half to have the 2 little pieces. And you're going to need 1 of these. And you're going to need your brick and mortar bone folder, your butterflies, and your white seam binding or the ribbon that came with the suite, whichever one you want. That'll still look gorgeous there too. Alright, so let's go ahead and get started with our project. 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper. So we're going to use the entire sheet. Okay. On the short side, so put your short side, your 8.5 inch side at the top of your scoreboard or your paper trimmer, whatever you're using to score. And we're going to score at 1.5. Three and a half. Ooh, I just almost got 5 and 7. Gotta open my arm for that. And 7. So again, that was 1.5, 3.5, 5, and 7. Okay. Now on our long side, we're gonna score at 1. 2.5. 8.5. And 10. Okay, so 1, 2.5, 8.5, and 10. Okay. we're going to go ahead and varnish our page here. Make sure you're making these lines nice and crisp. Oh, you're also going to need your corner rounder. I always forget about that. It's just an optional step to make your box look a little bit more finished, I think. And as you can see, it doesn't matter where you start to varnish, just get the lines varnished. There. They're all nice and burnished. Okay. Now, starting from the right side, we do not need the bottom 4 boxes, and we do not need the top 4 boxes. Scissors, paper trimmer, whatever you want, cut those off. These are my usual boxes I like to make. A lot of people make these boxes. I mean, it's the easiest box to make. In my opinion, anyway. Okay. So now I have something that looks like this. I like to put my weird flap to the right. I do like to miter this. This box, it probably doesn't need mitering, but I'm just going to still do it. Usually when it's the longer flaps, you don't need to. And then the other thing I like to do is check to see if my flap matches up with this one. Sometimes you miss score, and so it goes over the score line. I just like to cut that tiny little sliver off. I don't always do it. It's not a mandatory thing, but sometimes if I remember, I do it. If I don't, I don't. It's not a big deal. It's just so it's easier for me to glue. And that's really all. So I can just put my glue on here and flip it down. That's really the only reason why I do that. Anyway. Alright, so back to this position. You need to cut up these 2 score lines. So go ahead and up. And up. And then we don't need the first 2. We don't need this box right here, so we're just going to cut this one. And we're going to cut on the other side the same. So you have something that looks like this. Okay. Now, I'm going to cut off a little bit more on my flaps, so on my squares, and I'm going to go ahead and miter. I just think it looks a little better. You don't have to cut the squares. I'm cutting about 1/4 inch off. You don't have to, but like I said, I just like to. That's it. Okay. Now you're going to do the same exact to the top. So we're going to flip it around. We're going to cut our score lines. Cut off whatever you want on that flap. Miter it if you want to. Mitering is also an optional step at this point. It just makes it easier for the flaps to go in. Some people don't miter and theirs work just as fine, but I find that if I don't miter, I can't get my flaps to look how I want them to look. So again, it's all just your preference. Okay, so if you return it back to position, it looks like this. For me, it's easier to craft if I have a specific position that I always craft in. So I always make my right hand side my position 1. That's just how I always do it. So that way for me, I can wrap things around in my brain. And you know, it becomes second nature when you do the things exactly the same, right? Alright, so now what I'm going to do is flip it over. So now my tab is to the left. I'm going to put my glue on this tab. And again, you'll see me do this a couple different ways. I'll either flip it over like this, or I'll glue it down like this, or, you know, basically you're just gluing that flap together. You can pick it up and hold it and just get that flap. But this is how I do it. Well, how I'm doing it today anyway. We do need to go ahead and chomp our corners. Whatever corner rounder you have. I'm using the 1/4 inch side to round my corners. Right. Put your little flaps in and put your box together. And there we go. So as you can see, the box size, there's no difference using the smaller piece of paper in the actual, this part of it. The only difference are going to be your flaps. So I'm going to use this side. This side's easier. See the difference in size of your flaps. So that's it. So we didn't need the 12 by 12 paper, honestly, because it works just fine. I am going to go ahead and do the little finger pull. So I'm going to take my 3/4 of an inch circle punch and go halfway. Punch it out. Alright, let's go ahead and decorate this. See, with this one, I still think my flaps are a little bit too big. That's why it's kind of hard to open and close it. So it's up to you how much you want to cut off. These ones, I think I cut a lot more than what I did on this one. So it doesn't matter. Alright, so this is my front. I did go ahead and cut all 4 panels. And so you should have the front and the back are 2 inches. And the side pieces are 1.5. And so I did 1 7/8 by 5 7/8. Let me write it down because I'm going to type this up. So you need 2 of those. And so this one should be, probably should just measure these instead of guessing. 1 3/8 by 5 7/8. 1 3/8 by 5 7/8. So I just give myself that 1/4 inch border. So you can use either side. I decided to use this side that matches that Bermuda Bay. It's actually Pool Party, but I used the Bermuda Bay ink because I don't have Pool Party ink. So what I did here. Alright, so put my panels on, just center them the best you can. And, oh gosh. I don't think I put enough glue because my glue is jammed. There we go. Sometimes you get like little hard pieces of glue jammed in there. And it's only when I'm recording. That's how it goes, right? Obviously, you can use your tape runners. I'm just not really a tape runner girl. Now I need one of my smaller panels. I'm always afraid tape runner is going to pop off because I move around a lot and I'm in very different climates. Usually when I move, I go from one extreme to another. That's just how it's been working out for the last 16 years. So I tend to use white glue. Alright, and then the same on the other side. Alright. And one more panel. Yep, there's something in there that is just jamming up my glue. Look at that chunky, and I had a big old glob of it on there, but that's okay. At least it was in the middle and not the edges. Okay. Oh, you know what? I should have waited to do my finger pull, because look, I have to wait for that glue to dry. I didn't think that through. It's not a huge deal. It's just now you gotta wait for the glue to dry. Okay. Let me go ahead and fix my finger pull. You can always use your scissors and cut that out, but I'm just gonna go back in with my punch and take that little piece out. Okay, so now back to my front and decorations. I ran my little pot through the brick embossing folder die. Thought it was really cute, just gave it a little extra pizzazz. I'm going to take my ink, my H block, because that is my favorite block, my Let's Celebrate, and I'm going to line this up and tap, 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 tap. You can put your pieces on first if you want. I'm just going to go with the Let's Celebrate first. Hopefully it's right side up, straight down, straight up. I'm a confident stamper, so it's fine. If you're not a confident stamper, you may want to stamp on a piece of white or something and add the panel instead of stamping right down on your project, because you really only get one chance. Unless you stamp it and you didn't like it, guess what? That covers it up. So don't worry, you don't have to redo everything. Alright, and clean off my stamp, because I know I'll stick my hand in that ink. Alright. Now I just need to do your little bundle however you want. And I'm just going to run some glue, kind of. I guess I used 3 pieces. I think I told you 2. I guess I used 3. One, 2, and 3. And then this one, I just kind of cut it in half. Well, I broke it in half, but now I'm going to cut it. I'm just going to fill it in one piece here and that little piece there. That piece there, and then this little piece here. Yeah, that's what I like. See, just a crazy plant. This one is a little wider than this one, so it looks a little less full than this one, but it's fine. I think it looks great either way. Then I'm going to pop it up on some dimensionals. Use as many or as few as you want. We all know I use way too many, but... And I'm just going to fill these in here. I don't mind if my dimensionals are showing through the plant. It does not bother me at all. If it bothers you, cut the minis in half. Just taking off all my backs. I think I spend like half of my crafting time taking off the dimensional backs. And then just position it where you want. You may have to pop the box open to kind of see where you want it. And there we go. That's how I want mine. Now you can tie your little bow however you want. I thought I did this bow off camera, but I guess I didn't. Alright. Kind of what I did was I wanted it a 2-layer bow. So what I did is I just wrapped it around 2 fingers. I don't know if you guys saw. I wasn't sure if I was on frame or not. But I just wrapped it around 1, 2 times. Cut it. Oops. Cut it. And then I smushed it in the middle. And I came back in. Now, if I'm off camera, I would have just left it on the roll, but on camera, I'm not going to fight with it. Tied it in the middle and made sure it got actually in the middle. That's about the middle. And then you just fuss with it until you get it to what you like. Or you drop it, one or the other. So I'm going to go ahead and tie this in another knot to kind of make the tails lay down where I want them to lay down. Maybe, if they want to cooperate. If not, well, we're just going to have crazy tails. And I'm going to be okay with it, because we got crazy plants. Oh, worked out perfectly. Alright, and just trim it down to whatever you want. Now you can clip your free edges if you want. Like I have these 2 free edges. I'm going to clip this one because it's really long. The other one I'm just going to leave it alone. Just separate your bow. This is why I don't do ribbon, because I fuss entirely too much. I'm not a confident ribbon maker. I'm a confident stamper, but definitely not with ribbon. Okay, so just put your ribbon how you want. I think that looks gorgeous. And now we're going to add our butterflies. I did 1 large and 2 small. So we need the take your pick tool, which I do love. You guys know I do not endorse anything that I don't like, because if I'm not going to use it, I mean, you know, I'm not going to promote it. I'm going to switch this up just a little bit. There we go. Let's just say I don't promote things that I don't find that I'm personally going to use more than once. And so I don't have a budget to where I can just buy everything in the catalog and all the new stuff. So I buy products that I know for a fact I'm going to use more than just one project. That was one of the big questions I got the last video or the video before, or maybe last month, I don't know. Somebody said, how come I don't promote everything in the catalog, like when they see other demonstrators promoting more stuff? I personally don't have the budget to do that, and so I do budget friendly for me. So there you go. All right, that is the project, guys. So now all you're going to do is put your box back together. Oh, put your Odorban. What did I do with my other one? I probably brought it upstairs. Put your Odorban in your box. Close it up. And you are good to go. Isn't that beautiful? Alright guys, thanks for watching. Bye.